98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.
I'm Adrian Kennedy, and look what the cat dragged in. He's back.
Yes, thank you, Kat, for dragging me in. I'd like to say it's good to be back, but you know yourself, first day back after the holidays is always, it's horrible, isn't it? It's icky.
It is.
It's icky.
This is our producer, Mr. Jeremy Dixon, back from his holidays.
Now, I did something on my holidays, Adrian, that, I'm a hypocrite. Call me a hypocrite.
Okay, I will.
No, call me
You're a hypocrite, yeah.
Even though you don't know what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
For years, on this very radio show, I have made fun of you, I've ridiculed you, I've belittled you for your addiction to duty-free when you're on holidays.
Oh, indeed, yes.
And I've always said that people who go into duty-free when they're in the airport with a view to filling up their bags with as much booze as possible, they have a drink problem. And I've directed that at you.
You have.
And I want to now apologise profusely.
Right.
Well, not profusely, that's gone a bit far. I'll apologise for suggesting that people who buy duty-free booze are actually borderline alcoholics. Because I came back at the weekend, flew back from Spain.
Yep.
And while in the airport, in El Prat Airport, I dabbled.
You bought duty-free?
I bought duty-free. For the first time ever in my life, I dabbled.
First time ever in your life?
Yeah, I've never been a duty. I always arrive at the airport too late. I literally have to leg it to the gate. But we arrived at the airport in Barcelona 3 hours early.
Right.
And I was like, what will I do? What will I do?
So you went duty-free shopping?
I went duty-free shopping.
Scum!
My God, there's some money to be saved.
I've always told you that.
I know, but I've always just, Put it this way, a bottle of, and I'm encouraging responsible drinking, I'm a responsible drinker, but a bottle of the drink that I drink, you know my preferred drink.
I do.
El Capitan. A bottle of El Capitan, Adrian, in Barcelona Airport was €10.
Yeah.
That same bottle...
It's about 30 here.
It's about 30 here. Why? What have I been doing all my life? Wasting my life away. So,
but it's a bit of a waste because you don't drink, so it'll just sit in the press for years.
So, for my dinner this evening, I'll be having Captain Morgan's with big bars of milk of chocolate. You can't beat a bit of milk of chocolate, sure you can't.
This is something I'm a little bit annoyed about. Up the Dubs banner proves to be a bridge too far for city councillors.
Yeah, big Dublin story in the news today.
And this is, you may remember a couple of weeks back, just before the Football League final where Dublin were playing, a banner appeared the full length of the Halfpenny Bridge. And this is something that has happened for many years when Dublin are in the All-Ireland final, for example. A banner will appear across the bridge. Well, not anymore. Banners won't be appearing on the Halfpenny Bridge in future, with Dublin City Council insisting that it materially affects the character of the iconic bridge. It comes after anger at an Up the Dubs banner, which was placed across the bridge ahead of the National League final with Galway in April. Green Party leader Eamon Ryan complained about the banner, describing it as cheap and tacky. It's now understood that a return to any similar banner is highly unlikely. Now, I have a problem with that. I have never understood. Okay, we live in Dublin.
Yep.
The bridge is part of Dublin, and it is great to see Dublin City Council supporting our GAA team if we get to an All-Ireland final, which we've done quite successfully over the last number of years.
Okay,
yeah?
What are the council saying about this? What's the reason?
The reason is basically that it materially affects the character of the Halfpenny Bridge.
Yeah.
Now, I agree that it does. But it's not like the banners are up all year round. They've only ever appeared on the bridge for a week before the match. So say, for example, if we happened to be in the final again this year, the banner would appear across the bridge for a week beforehand. And I honestly don't see what the problem is. In fact, I've always thought it looked great. I really did. I thought it looked great. And I've taken photographs of it every time I've seen a Dubs banner on the bridge because I thought it was a good thing. But no. People moaning about it.
Love to hear how you feel about this. Text or WhatsApp your comments. 0877 98 98 98. That's the text or WhatsApp number. 0877 98 98 98. Do you think the council are right to basically say, here's what they're saying in a nutshell. They're saying, we don't want banners of any sort, size or description on the Halfpenny Bridge. And I have to be honest with you, Adrian, I agree with them. I didn't.
Really?
I didn't at the start, but I do agree with them. It is the Halfpenny Bridge is the most historical thing.
I get all that.
When you see any picture of Dublin on a postcard,
the Halfpenny Bridge is part of it. I agree with all that.
And I'm just thinking, hear me out, okay? So you have a couple of American tourists who are in Dublin at the moment, yeah? Honey, let's go walk up the Liffey and take a photograph of the Halfpenny Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, so they walk up, is it Aston Quay?
Yep.
They walk up Aston Quay, they take out their oversized Canon camera, aiming over at the Halfpenny Bridge and take a photograph of me standing in front of it. They're from New York, by the way.
Okay, right.
That's where they're from. And they take a photograph, and the whole bridge is covered with a banner about something that they haven't got. They don't know what Sam Maguire is. They don't know who the Dubs are.
Yeah.
They want to see an historic bridge.
They're still seeing the bridge.
No,
just with an ad for the fact that Dublin are playing and up the Dubs.
No, you wouldn't see a banner for the Yankees draped across the Brooklyn Bridge. Wouldn't be allowed, because the Brooklyn Bridge is a proud bridge and it's a big tourist attraction. So, no, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't see what the problem is, because, like I said, it's not a permanent fixture. If it was a permanent thing, I'd say yeah, but it appears for 1 week before the All-Ireland final and 1 week before the league final a couple of weeks ago. I just don't get what the problem is.
But what about Jed?
What?
What about Jed?
Jed?
Jed is from Texas. And he wants to take a photograph of the bridge.
But Jed knows.
Jed doesn't know.
Oh, well, he's being educated that Dublin are in the final.
How does Jed know that? He's from Texas. Jed is there with his wife.
Yeah.
Wants to take a photograph of his lovely wife. Arlene is her name, by the way.
Yeah.
He wants to take a photograph of Arlene in front of the bridge. And there's a banner there. No.
Okay, here's a suggested compromise from Stephen. Why don't they put the banner on just one side of the bridge?
Was it on both?
It was, yeah, it was. On one side of the bridge, so if you really desperately want a photograph of the Halfpenny Bridge, you go to the other side and take a photograph. No banner. There you are.
But Jed doesn't want to do that.
I just don't see what the problem is. I think it looked great that the City Council got behind our county team and put a banner across the bridge. And for the life of me, I just think this is more political correct rubbish.
It's not political correct.
Whatever it is, it's just pathetic. I think it's ridiculous that we've... the council have decided not to do it again.
Okay, keep your texts and WhatsApps coming in. 0877 98 98 98. Do you feel sorry for Jed and his wife Arlene that they can't take a photograph of the bridge? Or do you agree with Adrian that the Dubs ban, and this is typical, isn't this typical, by the way, of Dubs we think the whole universe revolves around us, don't we though? We don't own the city.
Obviously, well, we do own the city, we live in it.
But you don't own the city. There's plenty of people. I would say half the people living in Dublin aren't actually from Dublin. None of my neighbours are from Dublin.
Okay, the answer to Jed is tell him not to visit Ireland in September. And then he can come on August, he can take a photograph. He can come in October and take a photograph.
But Jed and Arlene from Texas, the only week they can come is in June or May because they work the rest of the year round.
Let me see. No, back to the flights, by the way. Sorry, anyway, if you have any opinions on that, text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Dublin City Council deciding that they will no longer allow banners on the Halfpenny Bridge in the run-up to, for example, the All-Ireland final. And by the way, that's only if we make it to the All-Ireland this year. We may not.
But we don't own the bridge. What I'm saying is the bridge is not...
Dublin City Council own the bridge.
What?
The City Council own the bridge.
Yeah, but it's not owned by Dubs supporters.
Back to the flights. My sister and her friends are in Ibiza, and they got the same text yesterday. It's costing them €350 to fly home. They had to book 2 flights to get home. It's after wrecking their holiday. And that would put a dampener on your holiday, wouldn't it?
If anything can be learned from this experience is always have holiday insurance, isn't that right?
Absolutely. Now, sorry, there was another one about that as well. Where was it? I would never use Ryanair again.
Yeah, I want to address this. Read out this message from
I would never use Ryanair again. They treat people like scum. Don't use them, says Alan.
To that person, I am fed up with people saying stuff like that. I'll never use Ryanair again. I'll never use Ryanair again. Because let me tell you something, Alan. I don't know you from Adam, or Alan for that matter, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Your text, although it's well-meaning, it doesn't hold any water with me. Because anybody that ever says that, I'll never fly Ryanair again. You go online, you want to go to London on a Friday night, and you go online and you see a flight for $9.99 to London with Ryanair, you're going to book the bloody thing. So get over yourself.
I've always defended Ryanair, although I mightn't feel that way if my flight was cancelled 48 hours before my holiday. I might be a little bit more annoyed. And then one more. My mum's flight to Murcia Where's Murcia?
The north of Spain.
Okay, was cancelled as well. And maybe the council man... Maybe the council man that wants the banner down as a Mayo man, says Jim. No,
I don't think we've Mayo men working on the Dublin Council.
This was the Dublin City Councillors.
Why is there no culchies on the Dublin City Council?
No. And we should do a projector image of the flag on the Liffey instead. You see, that's all well and good. Oh, in fact, that's that person on line 1 there, and that is Pamela. Pamela, that's not a bad idea to have a projector image on the Liffey, but you wouldn't see it during the daytime.
All right, no, but it's still market.
Yeah, so place it up on top of a building.
You can place it up on top of the Halfpenny Bridge, projecting down
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, projecting it down into the river.
And then it won't affect any of the tourists.
And what do you think of the ban and banners on the bridge?
I think it's disgraceful.
Yeah, so do I. I just don't understand why, for 1 week, it's a big problem.
That's only because we're winning so much. Country people don't like
that. It's up and down like a yo-yo. Yeah, it was. And we are winning so much. But, yeah, I just don't see what the problem was.
No, me neither.
So a light projected into the Liffey?
Yeah. But like I said, Pamela, the only problem with that is you'd only see it at night time. But still.
I'm sure we could project it onto all the buildings as well.
Oh, the last time we tried something like that, I don't know. Do you remember, Adrian? What was the name of that thing? What was it called? The nickname first. Do you remember, Pamela, they put a clock in the Liffey years ago?
Vaguely remember something, all right.
What was the Adrian? The significance? I remember there was a clock in the Liffey and it sank.
Okay.
No idea what you're even talking about.
No.
There was a clock that sank. What are you talking about?
Pamela, do you remember they put a clock in the Liffey and it sank?
I don't remember anything about it.
Jesus, am I going mad here?
Maybe it was a countdown to the year 2000 or something.
Yes, it was.
Oh, yes,
it was
I do remember
like
that. Yeah.
Was it, or was it to the millennium?
Yeah, it was. It was countdown to 2000, yeah.
No, to the millennium.
Yeah, 2000.
No, 1988.
No, it wasn't. It was 2000.
And what was it called?
I'm too young to remember that now.
Well, you don't sound it, to be honest.
What?
What? I'm just
Thank you very much.
I'm only joking. What was that called, Pamela?
I don't know.
Can anybody remember what that was called? Or my
This is a clock.
I'm not going mad.
I do vaguely remember it, all right. It was a clock that was in the Liffey.
This was something that, Ireland has done a lot of stupid things down the years, hasn't it?
Yep.
And one of those was many years ago. Now, some of you who are younger listeners will probably think this is all made up. It's not. This is like, because I was in school at the time, I think. And
no, you weren't. You were working with me, you fool.
Probably still in school, Adrian. I think I was. I was doing the junior cert at the time.
You weren't.
I was in play school at the time,
right.
And I distinctly remember the Irish government spending whatever amount of money, and they built this clock, and it was it the countdown to the millennium? Or no, I think it
was the millennium.
I think it was Dublin's anniversary.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, whatever. And they put this clock in the Liffey, and I remember us being brought on a school tour into O'Connell Street to look into the.
By the way, we were working just on O'Connell Bridge at that stage.
I've no idea what you're talking about. We were brought on a school trip into O'Connell Street, and we got to look over the bridge.
Yeah.
And the teacher brought us in and was like, "Okay, kids, this is exciting. You're going to see a clock floating on top of the River Liffey." And we were like, "Oh, okay." And we looked over, and the clock was after sinking in the bloody Liffey. What was it about?
I've no idea.
Does anybody know?
No idea. Let me just go back to the banner for a second. Jen.
Hiya.
What do you
Jen.
think of the fact that there's going to be no more banners on the Halfpenny Bridge?
I just think it's ridiculous. They should have just left it up. What harm was it doing? It was
Yeah.
lovely to see when you passed by it.
I have to say...
What's next? The banner for Supermax? Buy 2 burgers, get
No.
one chip? You know what I
This
mean.
is different. This is the City Council support...
I'd say the fact that the Dublin GA are just doing so well, and they've won 3 years in a row, and...
so the banner's been up every year for the last 3 years. But again, the fact that it was only up for a week, I can't for the life of me see what the problem was. I really can't. And unless there's people on Dublin City Council that aren't Dublin GAA supporters or whatever, I can't understand why it was scrapped.
Do you put flags up outside your own house, Jen? When
I do, yeah. I'm
okay.
a huge Dub supporter, yeah.
Yeah, like myself, I'm a huge Dub supporter. Do you put
Yeah, but the amount of times I've been into I go to Cole Park quite a lot, and when I'm there, I kind of bring the kids into the museum, and the amount of tourists that would be in there.
Absolutely.
Like
it is a big
buying
thing.
statues of Croke Park and stuff like that. So they would be quite familiar with it, and it is one of the main spots they visit while they're here, Croke Park.
Well, here's the thing, and maybe you have the answer to this, Jen. Where do you buy blue bunting? Now, it's not for me. A friend of mine is a big dub, so I wouldn't put bunting up in my estate. I think that's another day's
I bought them in a shop out in Roseland there only last year. I bought the material ones. They're not the plastic ones now that break easy.
Yeah, a friend of mine was looking for the bunting, and the only bunting they had in their attic was from when the Pope visited. Remember the episode?
So what? It's yellow and white.
Yellow and white, pontiff bunting, and I was like, you can't put that.
Well,
up.
they can use that in August.
No, you can't put that up for the dubs. You can't put up papal bunting. So there's a shop in Roseland, is it?
Out in Roseland, yeah. I got the last 2 pairs last year, I believe. So I'm sure they'll get them in again this year.
Anyway, you think it's ridiculous that they've stopped? They've scrapped putting banners up. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Jen, do you remember a clock in the Liffey?
I vaguely remember. I heard you talking about it there a few minutes ago. I vaguely remember it. Yeah.
Well, we were brought on a school trip. It's like a dream to me, or maybe it was a dream.
Sorry, can I just clarify? You were not on a school trip in 1999. What? You were 31 in school.
Okay, you're messing with the maths there, Kennedy. Relax there. There was, if anybody can confirm or deny, why was the clock in the river? What was it counting down to? And where was it gone? I mean, is it at the bottom of the Liffey now, Adrian? With all the supermarket trolleys? Where is it? And how much did it cost? And can I get my money back?
We'll try and find out in a second.
It was the worst school trip I was ever on. Ever.
This was a 6-ton clock.
Now, how did they think 6 tons was going to float?
And it cost £250,000 at the time.
How much?
£250,000.
So £250,000.
And Paul, you remember this clock in the Liffey, do you?
I do, Adrian. Yeah. 1999. About 6 months before we rang in the Millennium. It didn't take long for us dubs to start calling it the Time and the Slime.
The Time and the Slime.
Was that the nickname
Yes,
first?
that's what it was called.
Yeah. It was the floozy in the jacuzzi, but it was the Time and the Slime. The Time and the Slime. After about 3 weeks, you couldn't see it.
This is, I remember this, and I'm after, during the ad break there, I Googled the story. It broke, basically. This was a clock that was in the river, and you couldn't see the bloody thing. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it got covered in filth and all sorts of, I won't effluent, let's say.
Yeah.
So can you speak into the phone? Paul, can you speak into the phone?
I am. I'm not clear.
No, you're showing us a lot of disrespect here.
I'm very sorry, Jeremy. And you just backed me a holiday.
I know. How dare you?
I apologize.
How dare you?
I realised that you were just a mature student in 1999, Adrian. I mean, or Jeremy, sorry.
Paul,
I mean,
as God is my witness, I was brought on a school trip to visit that clock. As God is my witness.
So what?
It must be a building process.
You left school to come and work with me, did you? Like,
It was during the building process. You were brought to see the early building process of the clock.
Okay, what happened?
That was on HBL's time machine, was it?
Shut up now. What happened with the clock, Paul? Why did it sink?
It broke.
They actually didn't. It didn't sink. They actually put it on the bed at the bridge, and the idea was that you could see it kind of reflecting through the water and the countdown to the millennium. And as I say, within 2 or 3 weeks, it was just filthy. You couldn't see nothing. And as Adrian says, it broke. So they decided the best thing to do was just take it back out again and stick it in a warehouse somewhere.
And basically what it was there's a photograph of it when it actually worked.
Okay.
Right? And it was in the river just at O'Connell Bridge, and it was counting down the seconds to the year 2000. But
why did it need to do that? We knew when the year 2000 was happening. It was happening on New Year's Eve at midnight.
Yeah, it was actually placed under the water at O'Connell Bridge in March 1996. Paul, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was 96.
Yeah, it was 1996.
So I was in school.
You weren't. You were working for me even in 96.
What do you mean working for you? I've never worked for you.
You were then. You were then. We were working together in 1996.
I didn't even know you.
We actually were.
So, Paul, would it be safe to say that spending £250,000 on this clock was a waste of time?
A total waste of time. Absolutely.
A waste of time.
Tempest serious, absolutely.
So where is the clock now? Where is it?
Well, they took it out and put it with the old failed electronic voting machines in some warehouse somewhere.
Yeah.
So more of our money was, as Adrian says, was the National Lottery that funded it. But you know, in a quirky sort of way, the National Lottery funded it. That was us. We funded it. So
Yeah. All right, well, that's what it was. It was a clock that was put into the River Liffey in March 1996 to count down the seconds. So the photograph I have here was 17,409,806 seconds until the millennium, but it didn't last. It broke.
You know what? The countdowns are pointless. I hate them. Hate them. It's like, you know, these people. You're one of these people, Adrian. When it's 3 weeks to your holiday, you put up on Facebook, countdown to my holiday, 3 weeks away. Like this fool.
It is 3 weeks to my holiday.
This fool of a friend of mine on Facebook last night,
Yeah.
is going to Lanzarote in 3 weeks, yeah? Holiday time, T-minus 3 weeks. So you're not a space shuttle. Nobody cares.
Anyway, finally, you've another story for me there about strange things that people are attached to.
Yes, this is a story that appeared on website Reddit today, and I thought it was fascinating. And it's all to do with things that we as humans become attached to that isn't really normal. Okay? So you can be attached to your family members and pets.
Yes.
But I want to hear from you straight away. I'm going to give you my story, and I'm sure Adrian has been attached to something, probably a packet of John Player Blue. But it can be anything.
It can be anything
you're attached to. But I want you to text me now on 087 798 98 98. That is the text or WhatsApp number. And here is the question, okay? What are you or have you been attached to that you actually were quite sad about having to get rid of? It can be anything, okay?
Okay, give us an example.
Okay, well, one fella on Reddit posted that he became very attached to his microwave oven. Here's what William says. Yeah, you can be attached to anything, Adrian. I mean, I'm quite attached to you after working with you since...
That's the person. We're not talking about
allegedly
people.
1996, which is ridiculous.
Actually, 1995.
I was actually in nappies in 1995,
Right,
but there you go.
Yeah.
But you can become attached to anything. Anyway, here's what William said on Reddit. He says, my microwave oven broke down a week ago and I can't get rid of it. Why? Because I'm attached to it. I've had it for 10 years. I've cooked so many dinners in it. I've wined and dined ex-girlfriends with this microwave oven. I feel an attachment. I don't want to throw it on a skip. So there's William. He's actually attached to his microwave oven. You can be attached to anything, Adrian.
Now, you were telling me earlier on that you're attached to a suitcase.
Yes. And it's quite a sad story, actually. Have you any sad music, Adrian?
No.
I can't tell a sad story.
Go on,
this is quite a sad story. We went away on holidays for the last 2 weeks, and before we went on holidays, we were packing our bags, and I realised that there was a big crack in my suitcase. I've had my suitcase 15 years.
Right.
I tell you, that suitcase tells stories. And my wife said, we need to go to the shop and buy you a new suitcase. And I said, oh no, I can't get rid of that suitcase. I was actually... At that moment in time, Adrian, I realised I was attached to my suitcase. We have been around the world, me and my suitcase. We've been on adventures.
Yeah, but that suitcase eventually break.
That suitcase has seen things that no suitcase should ever see. Okay?
Right, yeah.
That suitcase has carried things that no suitcase should ever carry. But I found myself in a strange situation where I'm actually attached to the suitcase. I know that if I throw that suitcase on a skip, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to cry over it. Are you attached to anything?
Cars mainly. I remember getting rid of one car and being very sad because I'd had it for years. I had it for about 8 years. It was the longest I've ever had a car for, and I was very attached to it, and I really didn't want to get rid of it, but I had to.
I know there's nothing worse than seeing your old car being driven by another. It's like seeing an ex-girlfriend with a new man.
Well, I've seen one of my old cars,
yeah,
is still to this day driving around Dublin as a taxi. And I see it regularly.
It's about 260,000 kilometres on that clock. That shouldn't be on the road.
It still is, yeah. Kiva, you're also attached to cars, or you get attached to cars?
Yeah, all the time.
Now, as a matter of interest, do you name your cars?
I do.
Aha! Now, you see, this is a real car lover. I haven't named a car since my very first car.
You did. The last one was called Piece of Shit.
No.
It actually was.
My very first car
That's what you called it.
My very first car we called Percy. Don't ask me why. But we did.
My very first car was called Perry the Peugeot.
Ah, right. Well, mine was Percy, but I never named a car subsequently. It was just my very first car.
Every car.
So you'll be sad when you get rid of your current car?
Oh, God, I'll be heartbroken.
Have you a name for your suitcase?
A name for your suitcase?
Yeah, my suitcase has a name.
What's its name?
Samson.
That's the suitcase.
Because he's a Samsonite.
Yeah.
And I call him Samson. That's always been his name.
And
You
he's
talk to him when you're going through the airport.
Oh, I don't. That'd be sick. That's ridiculous. Oh, you mind yourself on that
There's two
conveyor
other
belt.
things that I'm very attached to as well. I know you'd probably find one of them very weird.
Yeah.
I know most women would be attached to my third thing.
Go on.
The second thing is, when your child is admitted into hospital and they get the little bracelet with
yes.
their name and date of birth,
Yes.
I keep all of them.
I know. I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And what's
for
the other
sentimental
thing?
reasons.
What's the other thing?
My skinny jeans that I used to fit into before I had kids.
Oh, now you don't fit into them anymore, and
No.
you're still attached to them with the dream of fitting into them
But
again
yeah,
one day.
that's one of these days I'll get back into them.
Fair play.
So,
All right,
yeah.
thanks, Kiva. Killian, what are you attached to?
Hello.
How are you, Killian?
Hi, Killian.
How's it going? I'm attached to a batch of bread that I bought at JC's 2 years ago.
Well, you still have it.
Yeah, still in the bread bin. Have a separate bread bin for it now.
It must be green by now.
Yeah, green and blue like getting, but I have it there. It brings me luck, you know.
So a batch loaf that you got in JC's and Swords.
Very specific.
You're so attached to, you still have it after 2 years because it brings you good luck.
Yeah. When I bought it, I bought a €2 scratch card at the same time. 150 quid in it, so I said I'd keep it for a bit of luck, you know.
And is it not stinking out the house?
It is, but it's worth it, you know. Bit of good luck, doesn't go astray.
And do you talk to the batch bread ever?
Do I talk? No, I don't. Bread doesn't talk.
No, but Samson, the case, doesn't talk. But have you feelings for the bread?
Yeah, it's slightly, yeah.
It's bizarre. Good luck. Okay, I have an attachment to phones. And let me see. That suitcase has seen some wardrobes around the world. How could you be attached to a suitcase?
The point is, I used to be attached to a cactus plant. I had a cactus plant in my kitchen, yeah?
Yeah.
It lived for about 15 years, yeah? And then one day I came out and it was dead, and I was sad. You can become attached to anything. My missus has a favourite bra that she's attached to. She's had it for about 10 years.
Ew.
The same, yeah. But she's washed it in between. But it's her favourite bra because she says it makes her bosom look nice, and she'll never get rid of it. And she says if that bra ever rips, she'll be very upset.
All right. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM. 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.